Hi guys, so we're going to be doing a wall hanging today, an Easter themed one. I'm going to press on my Altair 2 and get it all set up and ready here. Don't forget, you have to join my Facebook group in order to get the line art for this particular project. So we're going to go into IQ Designer. I've loaded my line art onto a USB stick at the side here, and we're going to press line design on IQ Designer. We're going to press on the USB and we're going to get the outline of our carrot. I'm going to set it. So there we go, we brought it in and we can just get rid of this. This is just in case you've got some sort of like line noise. So if you would have done this on pencil or whatever, it's not as sharp as if you would have got it onto a JPEG. So I've uploaded it into a JPEG for you, so it's nice, crisp and clear. So we're going to press OK. And then we're going to press OK again and set. So the next thing we need to do in IQ Designer is, so this part here is where your line drawing shows up. So if I do it all the way up, there you can see the line drawing, and bring it all the way down and it disappears. So we want to do that in IQ Designer. So then the next thing I want to do is, okay, so let me zoom in so you can see what it is I'm doing here. So this is the carrot, and I want to split it up into two different line drawings. This is just going to be the tack down stitch and the placement stitch of our applique. So basically I want to change this to a running stitch, and I'm going to change it to green, and I'm going to press OK. I'm going to fill the bucket up and I'm going to apply that to the leaf. The next thing I'm going to do is do my no-sew areas. We can't finish on a no-sew, so I'm going to do that first. So this is no-sew. I don't want this to sew, this to sew, this to sew. And you're going to click on it until it taps. Now I'm going to change my stitch once again, and I'm going to go back to a running stitch, and I'm going to go to the orange, press OK, and then I'm going to do the outside of the carrot. So now when we go to next, all it's going to show on here is the carrot and the leaf. All the little added details would not be shown. So let's see. So that obviously isn't right, so I'm just going to return. That's fine. And then I'm going to go back to this running stitch, and I'm going to change that colour again to that dark green. I like it when things go wrong because I want to show you guys how to do it. So you want that knocking noise. You're going to press next. And there we go. We've got the leaf. We've got the carrot. They're the only two things that we want. So while I've got that all sorted, I am going to save that into the IQ Designer. We're going to preview it. And then we're going to save that into the memory. So that will save over in the embroidery side. I like to just go back and check that everything is all done. So if I go into embroidery, click on here, then this is my just my line part to do the applique, and then I'm going to click on IQ Designer, and then I can open this, and that line drawing is still there for me to work with. Okay, so cancel that, and we're going to open it up again. And in IQ Designer, we now want to set it to do the satin stitch. So as you can see, this is all the satin stitch here. So I'm going to just select all the different colours so we can see that everything has been changed. So I'm going to pick a green, got the satin, and I'm going to press on here. If I just make this bigger a second, you can see a little bit better. That is set to green. This is set to green, this is set to green, this is set to green. If you press it again, you can hear that tapping noise. And then I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to get an orange, okay, and I'm going to press here, here, and here. So as long as you've got this highlighted and not this, you want this one, everything is all good. So now I am going to press next because I want to change the sizes of my satin stitch. So I'm going to do I like to do this size and set. Then I can press next. I don't want them all to be that size. So I'm going to go next one up on that one. Same with this one. I'm just going to go up one, set, and then up one. You have to press set, otherwise it doesn't do it for you. And then I'm going to go next, and then I want this to be that 120 set. And then I'm going to go in here, and then that one's just going to go up one, set, next, up one, set, up one, and set. Okay, so then we're going to go into, so we're going to save this into IQ Designer. Here we go, saved into IQ Designer. Then we're going to preview it, and it's going to show it on here. I'm going to press memory, so then that saves it over into the embroidery side of things. So I'm going to press home again and OK. So we've got everything brought in as we want it to be. So I'm going to press embroidery and I'm going to open up. I'm going to bring the carrots in first. So this is the first one that we want, and set, and then move it over, and then we can change the size of that. So we can make it smaller. If we actually press this one, it allows us to go a bit further because it's going to do it with stitch recalculation. You can go back, and then we can go a little bit bigger. I'm not quite sure how big I want them to be just yet until I bring that text in. So maybe I should bring that text in first, and then we can see how big I want the carrots. And this is the part that I never know which text to use because they're all so nice. So I'm going to do Happy Easter. I'm going to bring it down to medium and type the word Happy Easter. And space and Easter. Now I want this underneath my carrots. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do an array or not. That's where you can get the writing to curve a little bit. This is the hard part, deciding what you actually want to do. When you have free reign to design everything, I'm just going to keep it straight. Happy Easter and set. Okay, we have our Happy Easter, so I'm going to bring in the carrot. And remember, I got you to do 2 different colours for that line art, so it forces the sewing machine to stop every time that we want to do that applique piece. So you see it's got 2 colours there, it's going to stop after each one. So we need to figure out what size we want these carrots to be. I'm going to do it with stitch recalculation and going to bring this down. I mean, that looks about okay. Okay, and then I'm going to add. We can duplicate, edit, and duplicate. There we go. And duplicate again, and there we go. We can move them out of the way. I'm going to have 3 carrots on my picture. I'm going to make sure these are in the right places before I start to add the other ones in. So I like to press move, center, have 1 carrot there, center, out a little bit more, and then go up. I mean, you can mess about with this all day and get it to exactly how you want it to look. So I'm going to have a bit of a play, get everybody how I want it to be. Oh, and also what I'm going to do is rotate. 10, 10. There we go. And if you do want to decide that you want to have that array on, you just press T and then you change it to the array, and you can just have a look to see how you like it and whether you want it like that or not. Happy Easter. quite like it flat. Going to keep it flat, okay, and then set. And then what we're going to do is also add that. We need to add two. Well, I can actually just redo. I don't need to add another one. I'll show you how I go around that later. I'm going to add my satin stitch. Set. So I'm going to bring that over the top of the carrot and I'm going to edit and size. Okay, and I'm going to back up there again. And I want that to be over the top of my stitches. It's a little bit too small. It will fit over once you get it all aligned. Again, just play about with it. And once you get one perfect, just duplicate it. And that one just moves slightly out of the way, but we can select him in a minute. Rotate it 10. And it'll fit nicely over top of the other ones because that fit over on that last one. And there you go. I am going to press embroidery. And I'll show you how I change about all of my step outs as I'm doing it. I have a 12 by 12 canvas. I have a piece of fabric that is 17 by 17 inches and a piece of batten at 17 by 17. I do like to find a central line on my fabric whenever I'm doing something like this. So I just fold it in half, fold it in half again, and just get that central point. Then once I've done that, I will get a friction pen and I will just mark that down. I have hooped the fabric with the batten and some cutaway stabilizer, and it's back in my Altair 2. So I'm going to allow the machine just to do the Happy Easter first to get that out of the way. Okay, so it's done the writing. So when we do applique, there's like 3 parts. There's a tack down, there's a placement stitch, a tack down stitch, and a satin stitch. I didn't bring in that second tack down stitch, but we're going to use the same one twice. So this here is showing us where that piece of leaf is going to be. So I'm going to press go on my machine and it's just going to stitch out that little piece of leaf, so we know exactly where our green fabric is going to go and how much we need. I'm also going to do the part for this carrot as well. It doesn't matter that the thread is in green, don't worry about that. So I have my scraps here of green fabric. Now it's up to you, you can do them all the same leaf colour or you can do 2 different colours. So I'm going to select my leaf colour. Another thing that I like to use is steamer seam. It prevents fraying. So you're going to look at the size and then you're going to cut what you need. It's better to go bigger than smaller. And I'm also going to cut a piece of my steamer seam. Take the first bit of paper off the steamer seam and then you're going to apply it to the reverse of your fabric. So if you do have a pattern on your fabric, you're going to place this sticky to the back. Then you're going to take it over to your iron and press. Allow for that to cool down properly because you want that glue to adhere to the fabric. That's the whole point. We're also just going to do one thing at a time because the carrot is too close to the little bit of leaf here. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to place it over the top of the leaf. And you want to make sure that there's excess to this. You want it to be over. So even though the machine has moved on to the next carrot, we can press this plus and minus so we can get it to come back to that leaf again, and we can get it to stitch down. So I'm going to press the green button on my Altair too, and it's going to stitch that down for us. You're going to use your applique scissors and you're going to cut away the excess of the fabric, and you need to do it very, very close to the stitches without breaking them. Get right in there with it, get a lint roller and pick up the remaining bits, and then you're going to press that down and you're going to set that. Then you're going to get your orange fabric and you're going to do the same again. You're going to cut a piece off. Do we have any pieces here that are loose? Make sure there's enough to place right over the top of your carrot. We're going to add some steamer seam to the reverse of the carrot. Taking the paper off, applying it to the back of the fabric, putting your eye into it. Wait for it to cool down properly so you're allowing that adhesive to attach to the back of the fabric. Then pulling the adhesive away, placing on top of the carrot, and going back to the Altair 2, stitching the carrot into place. And cut away the excess fabric. Roll with your lint roller. And then repeat the process. I'll do one more and then you can do the last one yourselves. So remember, we just do the 2 placement stitches first. That's the leaf. Now do the carrot. Now remember, it's going to move on to that 3rd carrot, so we need to go back up. And then it's ready again for us to do the next part of the tack down of the leaf. I attached my steamer seam to the back of my fabric and placed it on top of the part that I am going to tack down. We've already set this up to do the tack down stitch and press the green button. Cut around the green part, I pressed it, then I got my next piece of orange fabric, I put the steamer seam to the back of it and pressed that and then put it onto the fabric, and now I'm ready to go with doing the next carrot. Go ahead and do the next carrot yourself and stop just before we do the satin stitch. And always do too much fabric than not enough. I literally didn't have enough at the top of this carrot. You could leave it like this, there's nothing wrong with it. It's very much like the thread painting that I show you how to do. But I would go ahead before we do the satin stitch and press it again. So I'm going to press the green button so it'll stitch out my first satin stitch on the right hand side of my carrot, or this carrot here. Now once again, I'm not going to go backwards and forwards changing these threads, and if you're not actually in this menu, I'm just going to press OK. So if you're in this menu, you can just press your plus and minus key, and I am going to find the next top of my leaf because I'm not changing it over from green to orange, that's very unproductive. I'm just going to start scrolling through and doing the parts that I want to do first. And now we're going to go ahead and do all the carrots. Now that everything is all done, I'm going to take it out of the frame. I'm going to bring my canvas back, and I'm also going to get my stapler. I have one of these large staplers. They come in very handy. I'm going to trim the excess of my stabilizer away. I'm also going to press my fabric once again just to get these lines away from where the frame was. I've got my canvas and I'm going to place it down, and I think I'm going to attach the top part first. You want to attach the top and then you stretch out the bottom and wrap it around. And I like to fold these parts in and just cut little bits away, because I like to get that right straight across. This is the finished wall hanging. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Really helps my channel, guys, when you comment down below, and helps with the algorithm. Also subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.